Hi everyone. Welcome to the first podcast for DataBasics. My name is Aryan and I'm here with my friend Melvin, and we're both the podcast head for Warwick Data Science Society. Today we have Jahnavi from FactSet, who's a machine learning engineer, and we will try and keep this podcast very insightful and give you guys a lot into the type of work she does, and what sort of goes into machine learning. So Jahnavi, first of all, thank you so much for coming on our podcast. Would you like to give a little introduction about yourself and the type of work you do at FactSet?
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Jahnavi. I work at FactSet as Aryan introduced me. I work as a machine learning engineer, and because of the GenAI advent, I'm currently working on using the GenAI models in our applications. But otherwise, I used to do analytical machine learning or anything related to NLP.
That sounds super interesting, honestly. Let's split that. Okay, so now coming back to it. So the first question I always ask anyone about their life is, how did you get here? Like, what's the story? Like, how do you get to FactSet machine learning? Was there something particularly that interested you? What's the path?
So as I was growing up, I used to be interested in artificial general intelligence and robotics. So machine learning or AI is the segue to getting into the general intelligence, which I don't know if it's going to happen in our lifetime. Maybe it does with GPT-5. But yeah, I was interested in that. And in my master's at UPenn, I got an opportunity to take those courses like AI, ML, data science, statistics, and all that. And then I took the courses and I decided that this is a field I want to be in. And I was applying to multiple broad range of jobs, and I got a job at FactSet. But I know it is in machine learning, but in a different sectors. One is that I'm in finance and I like math too. So hopefully I get to learn much more than what I already know.
Okay. So I'm going to take you back to like UPenn right now. And like, okay, what was it as a student deciding these courses? Because you said you were interested in AGI, robotics, stuff like that. So what's the journey trying to figure out, what course do you want to do? How do you want to figure things out? Because, as students, I think personally, me particularly, I feel very burdened by the fact that I'm doing this, I'm doing that, but I don't know what I'm doing.
Oh, yeah. There are multiple ways that you would want to look at, right? One is like, if you want to just have fun, like learning different things, then you would go, okay, this course is interesting, I'll go into that. And this is like, you select from the wide range of courses within your department or within whatever the credit units that you have. But if you have a more focused approach, which means like, what you're going to do after your job, then you'll be taking courses which aligns with that. Like, okay, these are the courses which are crucial to my path towards that goal. So I'll be taking that. So it depends on what you're looking for. I think it differs for person to person.
Okay, and was it like applying to UPenn and being at UPenn? Because personally, I have like a bunch of IVs, did not get in, and I'm at one. So it was like being at UPenn, because I've heard that UPenn has a very good culture in terms of the financial industry, particularly.
Yeah.
So what do you think makes UPenn the amazing place it is?
Like, I just did one class in Wharton. I was in Penn Engineering, not so cool as Wharton, but it was really cool. But sadly, when I was there, 2.5 of my semesters were under COVID. So I was not able to network as much as I would be in the campus. But the first semester, 1.5 semesters where I was there, it was really amazing. It was nice. The culture is really beautiful.
And what do you think like particularly separated UPenn from like previous, anything you've done in education before? What do you think people say about this, like, in terms of engineering?
So I've done my bachelor's in India. So there's a lot of difference, at least in India. I feel like in UPenn, I had more flexibility in order to choose what I want. And there's a wide range of opportunities. And of course, the professors and the resources are world class, and the people you're surrounded by are really smart. And yeah, that's a boon and that's a curse too, because you're always in this, what is that called? The complex of like, oh my God, am I matching with these people, or am I the outcast or something? But you're going to learn a lot from that hard environment and being around smart people. Yeah.
Perfect. That sounds amazing, honestly. Because I feel a bit robotic as well, because I'm always struggling to do things, if I'm being honest. No, now coming back to it, Aryan, you want to take the next question?
Yeah. So you said you'd done your bachelor's from India, and then you went to UPenn for a master's. So from there, so you were applying for jobs. You got through FactSet. So now I'd like to move to like your role at FactSet a little. If you could just tell everyone, what does FactSet really do, and what's your role at FactSet like?
Yeah. So FactSet is a financial technology company. It provides financial services to banks and anything like hedge funds and all the other finance industries. So FactSet is a data provider. It also provides services based on the data that they have and all the other stuff like related to finance. But since we are a data company, we have access to wealth of data, which means we can do so many experiments, or we can build so many different products on the data that we have. That's about FactSet. Hopefully, you'll get a good introduction on FactSet through salespeople. I'm sorry, I'm not done the business.
No, you're doing a good job.
My job at FactSet, since I said it was a data company, I have opportunities to work with a variety of products. So it was fun.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, that sounds super interesting. So what's it like? Could you like run us through your day, like when you enter the office, and like what's the type of work you do throughout the day? How does it work?
So I've worked in FactSet on independent and also group projects. So it depends on what kind of project you're working on. But if it's a group project, like you'll be working with a team, and you'll have like stand-up meetings. Stand-up meetings are basically where you guys, where we gather and discuss what our day tasks are for the day or for the week. like how far are we on the task, and we also decide what we want to do next and how we want to take the project ahead. So that's we have the stand-up meetings and we code. We do read for like if we want to implement a new solution, we do read research papers or articles and all that. And yeah, coding is the essential. That's where we build the applications that we have.
Okay, just follow up on that. What kind of technology do you use? Like, what is the stack of technology looking like particularly for you?
For programming languages, it's Python definitely.
Okay.
Most data scientists and machine learning engineers use Python, and maybe some data scientists who are in research at universities might use R, but otherwise in industries it's Python. But I have worked on C# and I know my team members worked on Go, but that's because we are working in a software group compared to ML group.
Okay.
Yeah, that is one of the stack. The other ones is, again, it depends on the project that you're in. Maybe you're in a traditional, you want to build traditional analytical model. For that, you'd use sklearn. And then if you want to build Gen AI, you'd be using something called LangChain, Llama Index, something else. And if you're working on deep learning, you'd be using PyTorch, Keras, TensorFlow, and multiple things like that. But the core, you would want to know NumPy and Pandas, which are the libraries for Python.
Sure. I have used a bunch of NumPy and Pandas in my internship at FactSet. It was basically what it pretty much a similar thing, I'd say, on some level. It was just energy data sets. So I remember what it's like. Yep. Now just coming back to it, it's like I just want to understand, like, what do you feel? How do you contribute as a person within the larger team? Because I often feel like people don't understand how much impact a single person can have on a project in a company. So tell us about how you probably led a project you've done. What are you comfortable talking about?
So as I said, like I've done independent and group projects. So when you're talking about the group projects, so I've been in one environment where I was the only machine learning engineer. So my insights, like they're building an LLM model, which is a planner agentic kind of model. So my insights regarding the Gen AI side was really helpful for them. So I helped them like recognize where do you want to put the prompts and all the other stuff. Like I don't want to get too much technical here, but that's what my contribution was.
Because I'm now talking to an intern at FactSet and they're telling me about how there's re-engineering the prompt as well. So if someone puts a certain prompt, they made a code that basically made 5 prompts out of the prompt just so that the best answer could be achieved out of it. I was like, wow, that sounds super interesting.
Yeah.
And I think it's really those things that like separate a good company from a great one, a good software product really. Lately, you'll be surprised, I've been using a lot of FactSet for other work. and I've been realizing how beautiful the software is.
Yeah, FactSet has lots of information there. Yeah.
Anyone go ahead, take the next question.
So you said that you worked on independent and group projects. Is there any independent project you'd like to share with us, like the one you're very proud of? And yeah.
I'm not sure if I'm allowed to share anything within FactSet, but I can share something outside.
Yeah, like just if you could just like give us like what was about, a general overview, that'd be fine.
The goal of podcast is just for like students to really pick up their own independent projects.
No, I get it. Yeah.
So what does an independent project look like for you? What was the exciting part of it?
So I did work on this project in UPenn. That is one of the course. It's part of a course called Hardware Software Co-Design for ML. And there we need to build a CNN, the convolutional network layer, like each layer from scratch on the FPGA. So that project was my intro to software engineering and hardware engineering, like and also ML, like knowing very the depth of how the layers and the computations happen. So that is a project which I learned a lot from, because that's the area I have never explored, and it just opened up something else for me. Like,
okay, that's super interesting. So wait, explain to everyone what CNN means.
Convolutional neural network.
Yeah.
That's where when you guys know, but like you might have heard computer vision and all that, right? Yeah. So they use convolutional neural networks a lot, and yeah, I don't know what to explain, but it's basically used for image processing and all the other stuff.
So I like, is OpenCV a good example of CNN?
Yeah, OpenCV is a library that it's a good example where you could download the models and all that.
Okay, a fun thing to ask you is just about like looking back at your career. What advice is an advice you've given yourself? When you were studying in UPenn, for example.
So every time we start a new thing, we get like scared because we just feel like, oh my god, it's so hard, we're not able to do things. At least when the thing that you want to do is like complex. So what I would say is like it's okay, it is hard in the beginning, but exposing yourself with hard things as much as you can would help ease that ease that fear, and you tend to learn more. And the exposure is really important if you want to learn anything, or if you want to like have a wide range of knowledge, or like and all that. Yeah, exposure is what my advice would be for everyone.
Sure. Is there anything particularly that you faced was super hard? Tell me a story, like a fishing story here now. Is that something that you thought you would never be able to do, and then you were like, oh, Wow, I was surprised.
Yeah, yeah, I know. Like when I was taking the ML courses, I've done my fair share of coding in C, but that's not too much in my bachelor's. And I got into UPenn, and then I was doing more of electrical engineering courses and not too much of programming. So directly going into ML, which requires a lot of coding and a lot of understanding of various mathematical models and all that, was interesting for me. So I was struggling a bit when I took my first ML course. It's an applied machine learning course. But you know what? So I did that, and then I was tutoring as well for Python.
Okay.
And while I was doing that, because of the tutoring experience, I got much more comfortable compared to me just learning by myself.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know, like when I was tutoring, I was exposed, like I have interacted with multiple students with different projects. So having that exposure of like multiple areas of work had really helped me build confidence in myself and also know many problems out there.
Okay, sure. And now just coming back to your time as TA, right? Like, as a student, I often think the professors are so confused by us because we can bring a bunch of ideas or a bunch of, thoughts to a teaching assistant, to a professor, anyone who's in position of, higher authority in education. So I just want to understand, what is it like being a TA? How do you deal with students? And was there something that, fundamentally changed how you interact with people, or something that, changed the way you approach problems when you were a TA?
I was an online TA, and my interactions with students are mostly, helping them solve problems on computer itself. Like I did not do too many of Zoom meetings, but so when I joined as a TA, the course is already structured, like it's already designed and everything. But there are some improvements that we need to make, for which we gathered feedback from students and from myself or other TAs, and then we presented that to our professor, and then and it's up to the professor to take that feedback and do all that stuff. So that's with the professor. Coming to the students aspect of it, it was really interesting talking to students, because they're like, as people, we are of all different kinds, and some and from different levels too, right? Like some know things beforehand. Like there are some programmers who joined the Python programming, especially they knew C# or C, Java and all that, but they don't know Python. That's why they joined it. And there are people who are absolute beginners to programming by themselves, and there are people who are like, in the tech field, but maybe are trying a different stack. Anyways, so having that knowledge and like being in their shoes to understand where they're coming from and help them do the task they would want to do, it was a psychological feat. It helped me be a much more better person than be a better coding person, programmer. Yeah.
I mean, sure.
That sounds, yeah. I'm just curious. I just want to ask like a quick question. If someone wants to get into machine learning, is it very, like obviously working in the industry, so is it very important for them to sort of go through professional qualification, or is it something you think can be self-taught as well if they want to get into machine learning and become a coder out of home?
What do you mean by professional qualifications?
Like in terms of like doing a master's, that's what you did, or they can sort of self-learn it and apply for these jobs. You think, is that feasible, or is it very important to sort of have those courses in uni as well?
It definitely helps to have those courses in uni, because at least mathematical foundations, at least those ones are really, really important for you to be in that kind of problem solving mindset.
Yeah.
But if you want to self-learn, you could do that too. But we need to be aware of what industry is expecting from us. Most of the companies that I looked at demand at least like master's degree in computer science or any of those fields. I'm an electrical engineer grad, but still I have done those courses. So it helps to be in the engineering field, but it's not the requirement. There are other companies out there which don't need that kind of qualifications.
Yeah, so the fundamental to this is obviously having math in uni helps, but you're saying it is not the, because I'm doing finance.
Math is definitely important. Like,
Oh,
even if you're
important.
self-learning, it is really
I've got no chance to score. I've got no chance in machine learning. Then I'm out of it.
You can learn math on yourself. Like there are so many courses out there you can learn.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask you. So it can be self-taught. It's just that we need to know what the industry expects out of us, I guess.
Yes.
Also, like just to follow up on that, did you ever do like independent projects just because it could be exciting for you? Is it like because I'm trying to do something similar, where I'm trying to do a bunch of independent projects and be like, hey guys, look at my kit, and then just put my kit on LinkedIn and try to show it to people and stuff, get a job.
Yeah, outside of coursework and outside of work. Yeah, I tried to do some. I mean, before the GPT-4 had come, we did not have like good summarization out-of-box models. So I tried to build a summarization model, summarization on text. Sorry, by myself, and it did work a little bit. It's not perfect, but it's getting there. But now I don't have to do all that. I just have to ask GPT.
What was the process for that? Like, what was the process for that summarization model? Like, what was the starting point? The starting point was, of course, a problem, but like, what happened after that? Like, what was the thought process behind building something like
that? Thought process first. Yeah, like I knew that I want to do something with like. I did not go with the task of like summarization, but I want to do something in NLP, and then summarization was a really good area to be in. So I did a lot of research on what kind of approaches that there are, and what kind of models that I want to do. And I've already also have seen people on GitHub, like if there are any projects that are similar to this and what kind of tech stack they have used. So I did that, and then and I have my own data. I gather data. Definitely, data is important. If you're building your own model, like you need to train that. So I have to look for data, and I have to look for what kind of models are there, what kind of tech stack I would want to use, and then once I have everything figured out, and then I just go and code and implement that on my laptop.
So what I'm hearing here is there's 10x more planning required than the coding element.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Yeah.
Because that's something I'm struggling with, because I just try to like get the data first in code, and I'm like, oh no, that's not working. I think it's one of those approach things where I just have to like sit down, write stuff.
Yeah, it definitely helps to look into what other people are doing and how many different solutions they have out there. Then you can nicely fine tune according to your own requirement, right? Like you're learning from a bunch of people, selecting the best bits of each one and then integrating that into your model.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, one more question I want to ask is regarding like the machine learning industry overall. Obviously, you're working in the industry, so I want to ask like how has it evolved so fast in the last few years? Like because we use ChatGPT on a daily basis, and it was only a few months ago I realized it's all about machine learning, like how it sort of works, and it's evolved so quick. So I wanted to ask like how has it happened, and what do you think is like the future of machine learning, and if it's going to evolve at a much faster rate from now on?
It's 2023, I believe ChatGPT has made the news. And before that, okay, I think every few years we are having a new technology that's coming out of machine learning AI space in general. Before ChatGPT, it was something called transformers. That's just a different type of NLP models. So yeah, like every few years we are getting one thing. ChatGPT is the nearest one where you could interact with normal day-to-day users just out of the box, right? So in future, I cannot predict the future, but people are saying there could be AGI that we are coming close to, but I don't believe it so because it's hard. What is the question? I'm sorry.
I asked what do you think has made machine learning sort of evolve so quick in the last few years, and what do you think is like the future of machine learning? And I think you've given like a good brief about like how it sort of evolved over the last few years with the new technologies being introduced.
Yeah, it's just like once you have something like once we had GPT-4 happen, everyone else is taking the learnings from it and building their own stuff. Now we not only have OpenAI GPT, we have Claude, and there are also vision models and all that stuff where people learn from each other. People once someone do it, other people are like, oh, if someone did it, then we can also do it. Maybe we can do it better. So I think that is what's happening. And there's since it's proven, there is more funding going into that place, going to AI ML, which means it accelerates more compared to how it was, let's say 10 years before. 10 years before, not many, like it's not very, what do you call it? It's not very visible to everyone compared to what it was now. It's more about like how much, what kind of problem we are solving, how much funding people are getting, how visible it is. And regarding future, I think we are going to have great NLP models, great computer vision models, and I think we'll have I think we already have multi-models where you interact with multiple things. But what I'm curious about is how it gets to AGI or it's integrated to robotics, because hardware as a field is still lacking behind compared to information, which you do on computer. So I hope the hardware catches up with the software that we have, and then we could do much more incredible things.
Sure. Now, just because we're finishing this up, 2 quick questions, and I'm expecting interesting responses. So, what's a dream project that you'd like to work on? So much mention of AGI. What's something that is like a dream project or something that you look forward to working on in the future?
I want to create robots which destroys humanity. I'm joking, but I would want to be in a project which is maybe not revolutionary, but like which caters to most of what humans need. Like maybe have a robot with all the capabilities of human or much more. So me being that project is really very interesting. But I don't think I could be. Maybe in future I could.
Possibly a humanoid robot. That's what you're looking at. Okay, and just to close things up, last question. What is one piece of advice you'd give to students who's studying in the second year, third year, first year, just getting to know this field and trying to explore it? Just one piece of advice.
In this field, I think you expose yourself with as much of information that is there out there. You don't have to get to nitty-gritty details of everything, but just having there is something called transformers that exists, and you don't have to like learn everything, because learning everything is too hectic and you get overwhelmed. But just know what's out there and select which one you would want to invest your time in, and then invest. and make sure you personalize your journey. Know like someone else's journey might not work for you, so personalize your own journey according to your needs.
Sure, perfect. That sounds amazing. Thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate this. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for coming. Your first guest
Thank
for the
session.
Thank you so much.